Hello everyone, my name is Jesse White. This is my critical assignment for KIN552 under the great Dr. Garrett. We'll go ahead and just jump right into it. So my target population is going to be the U.S. Special Operations Junior Enlisted. So I'm focusing mainly on the E4 and below ranks, and that'll put me around the age range of 18 to 23 years old. I'm going to focus on the selection and entry phase. That's usually where you'll find these ranks. You're not going to really see any higher ranks within that selection phase, obviously, because they're already pushed through the system. My rationale for choosing this population, I have my own personal experience working with a selection pipeline. I'm a JTAC myself, so I went through the Air Force Special Warfare pipeline, so I have some personal experience there. And my career goals, pushing forward, I want to take my operational job and push that to the National Guard. I'm going to apply myself as a full-time exercise physiologist for my unit's health and performance team. Some relevant research that I dove into throughout this semester really focused on things that motivated individuals to join in the first place, some issues and factors they faced from combat, and some of the psychological skills that the institution has taught to overcome and alleviate those issues. The first one was Motivating Displaced Revenge. That was Washburn, Skidka, 2015. And this study just really showed the generational ripple effect of the psychological effects of the 9/11 attacks. So anytime that event was mentioned, there was a greater correlation with support for U.S. military intervention specifically. And that's traveled from generation to generation. So there's now young people that are fighting that are pretty much following in the footsteps of their parents, and that's their sole motivation for joining. The religion's effect on depression and PTSD, Koenig et al. 2018. This was showing how the individuals that join the military and have that flashlight in the dark, and they have that golden arrow of direction in life through religion, usually have a better chance of coming out either preventing PTSD and depression or having a better mediation and recovery from those events. And the psychological skills training, Taylor et al. 2011, this focused on the actual positive self-taught processes and strategies that are taught within the survival training program, SEER, Survival, Evasion, Resistance, and Evasion. It just kind of talks through those pieces of, these individuals working their way through finding their why and maintaining that why through the push. And mental imagery and goal orientation are two major factors underneath that self-talk. So the three different environments. We have the physical environment. So you get two jobs when you're going through this selection process. That's to excel in performance and to suffer in silence. You're there to show that you're able to accomplish the tasks at hand. And not only are you able to accomplish it, but you're able to excel and exceed in those standards. So that's a very physical and arduous task alone. But diving into that a little bit deeper, routines become more critical. As we discussed in Anshel 2014, those routines and developing good habits is going to be what pushes you through to success and adherence with the exercise program. But at this level of physical vigor, those small little changes can drastically improve or decrease your likelihood of success. So if you don't eat oatmeal in the morning, or you forget to drink water the night before a ruck, that could cause dire consequences. And it's just a competitive environment. So it's, as Mayor 2018 points out, it's a you versus you battle. This really gets into the psychological warfare behind, those selection processes of how you feel about yourself, your own self-worth, your self-efficacy, what motivates you, how strong that motivation is. And then you also have to think about the competitiveness of them versus you. So your peers around you, you want to be the best among the best. Social environment, trust is key. So you're always trying to push forward, improve yourself. This has good and negative effects. It brings out the best and worst in some individuals. So take that on a personal level. The community driven with competency. So the more that you're able to show the more you're going to be able to know in terms of people. So the more opportunities you're going to have, training opportunities, operational opportunities, you're going to have those opportunities to put yourself forward, and that's going to get you out into the soft community and ultimately will drive your success in that field. And you just have to learn to adapt. Koenig et al. 2018, talking about the cultural and ethical dilemmas. So using your religion to find the moral arrow that you need to get through some of the conflicting moments of this career field is crucial. And customs and courtesies, a religion itself kind of ties into that. So how you view your customs and courtesies in life should translate over into the military career. And you have to figure out how to mold and adapt those into one single unit. And then family culture, as I mentioned with the Washburn-Skitta 9/11 study, could be the whole reason you joined. But just having that foundation, whatever the motivation is behind, is what's going to push you through. So your family culture is going to develop most of that. Could be negative or positive. So there might be people that join that their family they completely disapprove of the military, but you want to push forward. That could hinder your ability to do so. And this feeds into that social environment. So the way you were raised obviously is going to affect how you fit in with your social setting, and provides one's perspective on life. Again, religion with Koenig et al. 2018. And psychological strain. So homesickness could be the downside. You're away from family full time during selection, but also you have that reward in the reunion of your family. So that could be the motivator that pushes you through. 3 barriers for sure that these guys face: discomfort right out the get-go, physical exhaustion, psychological warfare. All of it's designed to break the individual down to see what they can take. And Taylor et al. 2011 really focuses on the social insecurities that this causes. So that lack of self-efficacy and self-worth that develops during the hard times, and how positive self-talk can help you push through that. Sleep deprivation, I've had personal experience with this. 5 days in the field, you have less than 4 hours throughout the whole week of sleep. You start seeing things, hallucinations happen, tying your shoes becomes difficult, so that really ties into it. And then just lack of control, period. So all of your movements are dictated by the cadre, so you just have to trust in that system, and that's something that a lot of guys struggle with. Some factors affecting exercise adherence. So straight up physical limitation. There may be things that you just physically are not capable of doing. But once you move past that selection point and you get to the entry level point, there's different body types. So we have, strong, stocky individuals that are more strength oriented, and then you have more the endurance oriented type individuals. And what this develops, as NHL 2014 points out, it could be they could develop a tendency to want to stick to a certain exercise selection. So I like to sprint. I hate to do endurance running. So I might want to stick to that sprint side and then avoid the endurance side. But what I really should be focusing on is that positive self-talk et al. Taylor et al. 2011, of knowing that I need to work and better myself as a whole airman in all aspects of the physical side. So I should be trying to work on what I'm not that great at. Negative perfectionism is the other one. So the individuals that they're never good enough, they either set goals that they can't reach, or they set this mindset that they're never going to be able to accomplish that because those goals are just too far-fetched. That's NHL 2014. The main thing for this is goal setting and bringing back that expectation management. Brusso et al. 2012 showed a study of the relationship between self-efficacy and your goal-setting abilities tied in with the expectation management, pretty much showing that if you have attainable objective goals that you can reach that are moderate, you're going to have a greater success of reaching those instead of, creating some preposterous goal that you're not going to be able to reach. 2 other factors, anxiety and depression. You're going to have anxiety throughout the whole entire selection process. You can lose your job at any time. And the solution, again, right here is positive self-talk, driving those individuals back to that why. And as a member of the health performance team, I could help these guys by creating that welcoming gym environment. That's NHL 2014. Depression, death is, it's kind of a reality of combat. And with that comes the Ptsd. And Skipper et al. 2014 did a great job of showing the correlation between those that suffer from PTSD and the abuse of alcohol and drugs. The solution for this is always going to be seek that professional help first. And then following that on the back end, we can help them, get back into their exercise routines and develop that positive self-talk and the mental redirection back to their why. That's Taylor et al. 2011. So my mission statement, Ephesians 6:13, wherefore take on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. So really just, I think of the three pillars of physical, social, and mental. And I try to, take that and tie it in with the whole armor concept as well. And just know that these individuals are, fighting for our freedoms, and we need to really help them develop that whole embodiment of health and wellness so they can push forward and do their job. So my job as a member of the human performance team would just be to train, motivate, and develop these special warfare airmen in their abilities to do that, and just be a health advocate for them. Final thoughts moving forward. My biggest takeaway from this course, again, was just focusing on those three pillars of physical, social, and mental. So tying them all together. My old mindset used to be, if you feed one enough, it'll be strong enough to, feed the other two. And obviously that's not the case. You have to have an equal approach and balance to all three. So I'm eager to kind of focus in on, my own personal self and my own development on the social and mental side, and applying that with as much vigor as I do to my physical side. And another thing I wanted to focus on more was the type A personality and the relationship between that and the negative perfectionism that's seen throughout the special warfare community, and what steps can be taken to alleviate or prevent that, or redirect that perfectionism to more of a positive mindset, as Anshel 2014 mentions. To use that to reach objective, attainable goals, and to keep a positive direction moving forward, as opposed to a negative side that's going to cripple their progression. I had a great time in this class. It was a blast. Dr. G is the man. Here's my references. If y'all have any questions, feel free to reach out anytime. Thanks.